Good afternoon, y'all. I am so excited. I have good news for you all. Those of you who have been following me and praying for my grandson. Well, today, this is not a basket video, but it's just an update on my grandson and a small haul. So, first of all, uh, and I'm going to try to talk and show you what I have here with my grandson. So I have mentioned in a couple of my other videos that I am preparing to do two holiday craft fairs. And so I've been making stuff to go on my table along with creating baskets and all of those things. So I am going to have some of the journals. So I have been doing the composition, recovering, and those. And I'm going to go in and kind of try to add some things inside the journal, like pockets and stuff like that. So I have done a few of the covering. I am going to do, I want to do at least 10 of those have 10 of those on my table. And I showed this journal that I got from Ollie's last week. And so they had these journals here, and they were $1, and I picked up like 30 something journals. And I'm going to probably try to have at least 10 of these on my table. I'm going to take these, I'm going to unbind these, and I'm going to I have my printer already set up to print this size paper, and I've already downloaded a journal that I would like to, well, a print that I would like to put inside here from, I think I did it on, not Creative Fabrica, but Canva. And I'm going to do some different ones. I've downloaded from Creative Fabrica some covers that I would like to put on here. And I'm going to just try to do different journals. I'm thinking about doing one on prayer. I also want to do a Bible study journal. So that is a couple things I'm doing. I'm going to show you these that I have. So I've done this one, and this is the stick and peel from the Dollar Tree. And I've only covered these, and this is the stick and peel from the Dollar Tree. And I did print. I cut this down to size, and I put it in my printer, and I printed on this to see if it would work, and it did. And so it says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation." This one here is a Dollar Tree gift bag. I thought that was cute. So I bought the bag, and I cut it down to size and covered the book. This is a good gift bag as well. And I cut it down, and I'm going to decorate the front of these as well when I get to that point, but I'm still working on those. These here, because I've been fooling around with crafting stuff for some time, I have all this stuff here, these books that I bought some of them out of when Tuesday morning was here. And so I got several of these books here that I'm going to pull from and use them to do some designs. I've used stuff out of here to do other things with, and so I am going to be using some of that. So I just wanted to show y'all that part, and then I'm gonna get to the haul, but I got to tell y'all about my grandson. Okay, so he was in a car accident on Sunday. He went to buy a motorcycle, and he was test driving it, and his friend was with him, and as he was going down the road, his friend was videoing him driving the bike. And so as he was going, a lady was at the stop sign, and right as when he got like this, she pulls out, and he tried to swerve, and that's the last part of it, because the friend said, oh, he said a cuss word, and he dropped his phone, and evidently he ran to RJ. And so his injuries were, he had a skull fracture, he had facial fracture, broken nose. They said all the bone in his face was pretty much broken. and he had the skull fracture. When they got to the emergency room, he had some vomiting. There was a small amount of bleeding on the brain when they did the scans. And so they intubated him because he was vomiting and they did not want him to aspirate. And so they intubated him, put him in the ICU, and we know what that looks like. Tubes everywhere. And I can say this because I've worked in healthcare in the hospital for 41 years, and I've seen a lot. And so that's where he was. He was swollen very bad. My daughter said, his whole face was swollen, head, all of that was swollen. He was on the vent, and the different team of doctors came in and was telling them what, their expectations and what they were going to do. And they've seen these type of injuries, lots of time. And he's in Richmond, Virginia. And so that's like an hour and a half from where they live. And it is, from my understanding, it's the #1 trauma center. I think, I want to say United States, but I don't know. But I know she says #1 trauma center. They had, at that trauma center, they had the ENT, which is the ear, nose, and throat doctor, was the #1 in the state or what have you. Everybody that was taking care of him was #1 in the state. And that lets me know that God, even though God had his angels encamped around about him, because this could have been worse. He still, even though he had some injuries, they weren't that bad compared to the things that we have heard and the things that some of us may have seen. Usually when we hear about a motorcycle accident, it's the person don't walk away from the accident. Usually you hear where the person died on the scene or what have you. But God still had him covered. And even though he had those injuries, the grace of God was still upon him. Okay, so they said that he would need to have surgery to fix the fractures in his face. They're going to put a plate in. And they were saying that if he was, still on the ventilator at that time, they were going to put a trach in because of something about fluid draining and all this type of stuff that they was going to have to do. So he's supposed to be going to have a plate. You hear me now? Supposed to have a plate put in his mouth. In his face, and his jaws wired together. So they put a tube in to measure the pressure, if there was any swelling and bleeding. And so that tube was put in on Sunday. And they said that around 2 to 3 days, that's when the swelling starts to set in, if there was going to be any. Well, day 3, there was no swelling, which was yesterday. And so they took it out. They said they was going to start weaning him, so that they can take him off the breathing tube. They've been waking him up like every hour to check his neurological things, and he was doing everything that they asked him on command, and moving and doing all those things that they had asked, and responding properly. And so yesterday they said they was going to wean him down, and they was expecting wanting to take the tube out on yesterday. So when I talked with her last night, they felt that he wasn't doing enough on his own, but then that was a respiratory call to know whether or not that was happening. Well, y'all, around 3 o'clock this morning, RJ decided that he would remove his own tube. So he took the tube out himself, not knowing, he's still a little confused and all, but he took the tube out. They tried to get a hold to him before he took it out. They did have his hands secured, but he still got them up to his face, and the nurses that came in were not strong enough to keep RJ from pulling it out. So he pulled it out. He done well. Didn't have any problems breathing, talking. And my daughter said he's been talking ever since. And just saying different things when you have a head injury. And I've seen this in the hospital myself when the teenagers would, come in or come to our floor who had been on a car accident and had, head injuries. And they kind of funny because they saying all kind of stuff and they are imagining that they are people who they are not. And sometimes they do know the family. But, in a few days they come around. So RJ, he knew his mom. And he asked his mom about his grand-grand and his papa, which is me. And had she told him, had she told us, what was going on, and she was like, yeah, she'll be coming Sunday. And so that is the miraculous of RJ. This accident happened on Sunday, and just look at what God has done in that time frame. God is a awesome God. He is a miracle worker. He is not to be doubted. His time is not our time. And like I was telling my daughter, I say, every day I just want to hear good news, something different is going on. And she was saying, well, he is doing stuff, new, every day. Because she had not told me that he was setting up. He would set up on his own. They would have to tell him to lay back down. And I'm like, he must not be fully sedated. Because when you are sedated, you don't move. You don't even know you're in this world. So evidently the whole time he must have been on a mild sedation because he's, been moving and doing things. But but the thing of this story is in that little shorter time what God has done. And today she told me that the swelling in his face was gone down. Now, when he came in, he was swollen, he was swollen. She was still able to recognize who he was, but he was swollen very much. And the doctors had said that with, the swelling, and even when he goes to surgery, that it would take about 3 to 6 months for the swelling and the healing to really happen. But today RJ only has a minimum amount of swelling, from my understanding, around his eyes, because he does have a broken nose. And my thing, like I was telling my husband, anytime you have a broken bone, there's going to be some swelling there for a amount of time, because it swells. It don't just go down on its own that quick. So with whatever's going on in his face, just know that God is mending and putting it back together again. Now, my expectation is that when they go to surgery on Tuesday, that what all they expecting to do, that they're probably not going to have to do that, because a lot of swelling is gone. Them bones have mended back together by the divine power of God. And I just wanted to share that with y'all. Thank you for your prayers. It is a blessing to be a part of this community, to be able to have people to pray for you, people that you have never came in contact with. I feel as if I know y'all, and I'm just thankful for y'all, all of you who have took the time to stop and just listen to this testimony of what God is doing. And I hope that it will encourage you in the time of your need, because that is what we are here to give, the testimony. And like the word says, we overcome by the word of our testimony. And when RJ gets back on his feet, he's going to have an awesome testimony. And I'm looking for God to do even greater things in his life for his ministry. And so y'all continue to pray for RJ. He is agitated. And I think part of that may come from the medication he is on. Like I told my daughter, sometimes when you're on steroids, it causes you to be very agitated and just act out and, kind of do things. So That is the next prayer, praying for that, and continue praying for a speedy recovery, and healing in his body, his face, his head, all of those things. We are continuing to ask God to continue to just let his healing power flow through his body, which we already know that he's already healed. I got to be patient and just wait on the Lord. As he says, wait on the Lord. Be still and see the salvation of the Lord. So I need to wait on him. I know that he's able. This ain't the first time that I've seen him work in a family member life or even in my life. So I know what he can do. But I just have a hard time waiting. And he knows me and he understands me. And he tells me to walk by faith and not by sight. When I'm having those times in my life, he always remind me, walk by faith, not by sight. Because what you see ain't what's going on. And so with all of that, I just want to say thank you. And now I'm going to move on into this little haul, which shouldn't take but a minute. So LB, if you clicked on this video, you don't have nothing on me. I found some candles too. They wasn't as cheap as yours, but I did get some. I had been looking for some candles to melt down because I saw Designing with Nisa, and she had showed that beautiful candle mold that she had bought, and she had melted down some candles that she had bought on sale and poured it into there. And I'm like, okay, that was a great idea because, as y'all know, I made mention in another video, I've been fooling around with making candles and doing soap. And I have candles sitting in my dining room now that I have made. And but I want to make some to go in my baskets for like Mother's Day and Valentine's Day, because it's not guaranteed that I'm going to get out here and catch these sales like you all been doing. But I'm trying to get out there and get those. But I still want to make some candles to have on my craft table and some soaps to have on my craft table. And so I'm coming along very well with those things. But I'm going to do what Nisa called the hack. After seeing that and just looking at some videos, it's really not a hack, but that's what they've been doing. Only thing you need to do is put your fragrance in it, and you can put add some of that citric acid to harden it a little more if it needs to be. And hey, you got a candle. And so that is what I am going to do. And so I went to Walmart today. I went in Walmart. I don't know what was I looking for. I don't forgot what I even went in Walmart for. But I did go to the oh, I know what I went in there. I just went to see and maybe if they had some of those little champagne glasses still left over, which they did not. I went to the clearance section. As soon as I walked around the corner, guess what I saw? All these little candles here. And yep, I cleared the shelf on these. And so these were the only colors they had, like the aqua blue and this mint green. But once they get more, I think they had like 10 left. And so I bought all 10. They were $1. And they also had some bigger candles that was $2.50, and I bought those. And so this is what they look like. They had the white, they had the navy blue, and they had pink, and I think they had a green too. Let me look at my other bag here. Yep. So they also have a green. So these are, and I bought, well, that was $2.50, and I bought about $20 worth of those, I believe. So this is what they look like. Yep, this is them. And they were $2.50 each, and let me see what the size is on them. They stand about, they're a good size. They are the Better Home and Garden. They are 3 inches by 5 inches high. So that's a good size candle. And I'm gonna melt that down and I'm gonna put it in something. I'm gonna get me some nice candle molds. I am gonna order the one that designer with Nisa showed us, because I really like that. It's real pretty. But in the meantime, I am going to be looking for some other type candles, and so that I can use. And I got to get me some fragrance to go in these when I get them melt down and put them in whatever I'm gonna put them in. And the other thing with my candles, I showed y'all, I've been buying just the pillow candles, the white ones, and using napkins to design that. And so that is what I've been doing for my craft table. But listen, y'all, thank y'all for stopping by. Continue to lift RJ up, because your prayers have made a difference. For the word of God says, the prayers of a righteous man availeth much. And so we thank you for being righteous. We thank you for serving a God that, what can I say, who would not serve a God like that, who just love us, keep us, protect us, even in spite of our condition that we are in. He still loves us. So y'all continue to be creative, continue to keep doing what you're doing. And I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm going to keep following you and seeing what you are doing, because you all are very creative and you have helped me more than you will ever know. So once again, thank all of you for every prayer that you have sent to the throne of God on RJ's behalf. Y'all do have a blessed day.